Every living thing on earth wept when he died. Every plant, every stone, every animal, every god in Asgard, even the rivers mourned. The only thing in all of creation that refused to weep was a single old woman sitting alone in a cave, and that refusal meant the most beloved god who ever existed had to stay dead forever. His name was Baldr, son of Odin, son of Frigg, the most radiant, the most gentle, the most universally loved being in all of Norse mythology. And the god responsible for his death was not an enemy from outside the divine family. It was Loki. It began with nightmares. Baldr started having visions of his own death. Dark, recurring, specific dreams that carried the weight of prophecy in the Norse understanding of the world, where the line between a dream and a foretelling was thin enough to die on. Frigg, his mother, could not accept what the dream suggested. She did what any mother with divine power and absolute determination would do. She traveled across all of creation, every world, every realm, and extracted a promise from every single thing that existed. Every plant, every metal, every stone, every disease, every animal, every fire, every water, every poison. She asked each one to swear an oath that it would never harm her son. Everything agreed. Everything swore the oath. Almost everything. Frigg passed by one plant without asking Mistletoe. It was small and young, and she considered it too insignificant to bother. Too harmless. Not worth the effort of the oath. This is the mistake that ended the golden age of the Norse gods. Not a great enemy. Not a cosmic war. A small plant overlooked because it seemed too inconsequential to matter. With every substance in creation bound by oath to spare Baldr, the gods discovered something wonderful and strange. Nothing could hurt him. Weapons bounced off. Thrown stones fell harmlessly away. Fire did not burn him. What had begun as a nightmare became a source of joy. The gods entertained themselves throwing things at Baldr, watching projectile after projectile simply stop before reaching him. Baldr himself laughing at the center of it all, invulnerable, radiant, untouchable. This was the happiest thing in Asgard, the proof that love, directed with enough force and thoroughness across all of creation, could make something permanent. Frigg's journey and her oaths had produced something that looked very much like immortality. Loki watched the games. Loki, in his shape-shifting way, disguised himself as an old woman and found Frigg. He asked her, in conversation, whether it was really true that everything in creation had sworn the oath. Everything? Frigg, proud of what she had accomplished, told him almost everything. All except the small mistletoe on the eastern side of Valhalla's walls. Too young, she said. Too harmless to bother. Loki left. He found the mistletoe. He cut it. He shaped it into a dart, small, sharp, made of the one material in all of creation that had never sworn to spare Baldr's life. Then he found Höðr, Baldr's brother, blind, standing at the edge of the games where everyone else was throwing things at Baldr and laughing. Höðr could not participate because he could not see. Loki offered to guide his hand. A friendly offer. Let me help you join the game. Höðr held out his hand. Loki placed the mistletoe dart in it. Loki guided the throw. The dart flew straight and true. It passed through every oath that bound creation. It struck Baldr in the chest. Baldr, the most beloved god who ever lived, fell down dead. The silence in Asgard after Baldr fell was the kind of silence that has no bottom to it. The gods stood and looked at what had happened and could not speak. Then the texts say they wept. All of them. The kind of weeping that does not need words, because there are no words adequate to what has been lost. A messenger was sent to Hel, the realm of the dead, to beg for Baldr's return. Hel agreed to release him on one condition. Every living thing in creation must weep for Baldr. Every single one. If even one thing refused, he would stay in the realm of the dead forever. The gods sent messengers across all 9 worlds. Everything wept. Plants wept. Stones wept. Animals, metals, fire, water, disease, everything that Frigg had asked for an oath. Everything now shed tears for the god it had promised to protect. Then the messengers found the old woman alone in a cave. They asked her to weep for Baldr. She refused. She said Baldr had never done anything for her. Let hell keep him. The old woman was Loki, in one final disguise. Baldr stayed dead. The Norse gods understood that this was the beginning of the end, that Baldr's death was the first falling stone of Ragnarök, the unraveling of everything. The most beloved thing in creation could not be protected, could not be returned, and the one who refused to weep stood up from the cave and walked away. The gods would imprison Loki for what he had done, but Baldr did not come back, and the world moved one step closer to its final winter. Every living thing wept for him, except one. That one exception was enough. Come back tomorrow. This channel carries a new myth every single day. Tomorrow's story crosses the ocean to the oldest recorded love story in all of human literature, 2,000 years before Romeo and Juliet, carved in clay in ancient Mesopotamia. A story of a king and a wild man, of friendship so powerful it changed the entire meaning of mortality. The Epic of Gilgamesh, tomorrow.